What is up, Hardcore Nation? It's Hardcore Christopher here. What you are looking at is Art the Clown. Art the Clown is the main antagonist of a 2016 movie that you can find on Tubi. Do I recommend anybody watch it? No. I watched it so you don't have to. I'm gonna be blunt and honest here. This trying to think of how to word this. Art the Clown is the main antagonist of Terrifier 1, Terrifier 2, All Hallows Eve. And let me tell you something. I've watched a lot of movies over the years, professional and amateur. I've been in 2 short films myself. But I watched Terrifier, and it just didn't make any sense to me. So I don't really understand the story. There was really no story that I could find besides, a clown. An evil, sadistic clown killing people in various ways. So the movie starts off with a news anchor interviewing a woman who got attacked by Art the Clown. Then the news reporter gets killed. I know this is supposed to be, because I did do some research, I know Terrifier was supposed to be a nod to 80s slasher horror. But there was always an established antagonist, and there was a established protagonist. Now, Art the Clown is the main antagonist. I got that right off the bat. But I couldn't find who the main protagonist was. And from watching the movie, it never really became clear. Take example, there are 2 girls. Young women, sorry. And they're sitting in a car, they're jabbering and everything, and I kid you not, I kid you not. She looks down at her phone, begins talking to who she thought was her friend, turns out to be the clown. I didn't know what really happened because the camera cut away until her friend gets kidnapped and there's a white sheet. What's behind the white sheet? Her friend. In a naked bodysuit. It was so apparent it wasn't even funny. Fake blood, fake intestines, fake everything. Art the clown doesn't say anything in the movie. All he does is hiss and play mind games. And he's invincible. Like, how is that possible? I mean, you can make an argument that, well, Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, pretty much every slasher villain was invincible. Leatherface falls into that category. This is where it doesn't compute for me. Jason Voorhees, Leatherface, Michael Myers. Here's the thing. Art the Clown is a clown. A human clown. And the only time that he's not indestructible is at the tail end of the movie, where he reaches down into an ankle brace, ankle holster, pulls out a pistol, looks at the officers, and blows his brains out. Okay. So, with that being said, so they take his victims and him to the morgue. Halloween. Then some supernatural stuff starts happening, and the medical professional gets killed by Art the Clown because Art the Clown somehow came back to life. This movie knew what it wanted to be. It wanted to be a slasher. Okay. I have no problem whatsoever with slashers, just as long as they make sense. And for me, there was no sense to be had in this. Why is Art doing all of this? Have no idea. Who's the protagonist? Don't know. Why is everyone that I think is a protagonist dying? I don't know. By the way, the young woman's friend I'm going to tell you how she dies. And then I'm also going to tell you that, as gruesome as that sounds, it actually did happen in history. So she's hanging upside down. Basically nude in a, again, this is a naked bodysuit. So it's not like she's actually naked. So she gets sawed in two upside down. Now that actually did happen in history. There's only one big problem with that. It was with a tiny, dinky handsaw. Now in history, when they would execute somebody by sawing them in two, it'd be a gigantic saw with two people on the same ends. Is this movie good? I'm gonna say no. And the only reason why I'm saying no is because it was indie. I like indie films. I will support indie films. One big problem with indie films: time crunch. Not only time crunch, but plot. There was no plot. Art the Clown was just killing people. Why? Don't know. So, the entire time, which, by the way, before I get to my next point, I was pretty deadly accurate on what was going to happen. I'd be like, oh, well, they're gonna die, they're gonna die, they're gonna die. This is gonna happen. And it happened. There were only two places, there were really only two places that got me. And I was so happy to see the credits roll. And the entire time I was watching the movie, I go, this seems like a very small production. And it seems like there was... it seems like it felt indie to me. Then the credits start to roll. Okay. There's the section of the credits that say Indiegogo. I'm like, that's why. Thank you for answering that question. That's literally the only question that got answered for me. But I don't recommend Terrifier to anyone. Unfortunately, that's the way the cookie crumbles for me. And for the movie. I tried to get into it, just couldn't get into it. But I'm Hardcore Christopher. If you would like to be a member of our community, hit the subscribe button down below and make sure you ring the bell and click all for every time I upload a video. If you don't, it's okay, I still respect you. At the end of the day, I'm just glad that you chose to spend a little bit of your time here. Keep it hardcore, everyone.